Starting things off, we're joined by a broadcasting legend and the editor of Local Woman magazine. They've actually teamed up together on the radio as well. It's Frank Mitchell and Kim Kelly. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you.
Good to have you. And Frank, I can't believe the amount of years I've been doing this show and the amount of years that I've known you, but we've never had you on the show.
No, I haven't been in this studio before. I've been in plenty of studios down through the years. This is very impressive, and it's a very, I suppose, in line for awards your show in the future if it hasn't already picked up the accolades that it deserves. What about that for a compliment coming through the door?
Fabulous compliment. Thank you so much. And of course, I did read something you wrote recently in the Belfast Telegraph as well, which was very complimentary. So thank you for that too.
It's a pleasure. I caught some of the programmes that are being shown on NVTV recently, and I saw them down through the years as well, and they're very engaging, so it's a pleasure to be here.
So you must have seen lots of changes in telly from the days when you first started at UTV.
It is incredible. It's absolutely amazing. I remember coming through the door and people like Brian Bird being there and being in awe of such a skilled newsreader. Norman Stockton, you know, one of the great reporters. So I've been there for, well, long and many's a day. As a matter of fact, I left television exactly a year ago on the 34th anniversary of joining UTV. So I was there for 34 years, and there are some people like Paul Clark is still there.
Yeah.
He was there when it opened, and he'll be there when they shut it, if they ever do shut it. Paul is going to be broadcasting the news on his 70th birthday. That's his promise. Now, he's quite a distance away from it, but it's something that he is looking forward to.
Do you miss being on telly? Because we missed you doing the weather every night.
I miss it, yes. I couldn't have managed to keep up the pace much longer. I'm working every day from 8 in the morning with U105 through until noon, arrive at 8, do the programme 9 to 12, then straight up the stairs to prepare the weather, to liaise with the weather forecasters at the Met Office. People sometimes think you just do the weather at 6:30 and at 10:30, but there are actually 7 other weather forecasts during the day as well. So you're preparing all that, you're getting all that ready, you're constantly in and out of the studio, and you're home in the evening at about 7:15, absolutely knackered. And that's why when the opportunity came to, to leave with a little cushion that will see me through my twilight years, I had to take it.
And did you have to train to be a weather person? Because you started off as a teacher. You did teacher training, didn't you?
Yeah, very much so. Now, I remember I was teaching, and I remember the day I was walking through UTV, and the director, a guy called Robert Lamrock, they were doing rehearsals for UTV Live. And Mike Nesbitt, of all people, was in presenting the programme, and I was walking past, and Robert Lamrock spun back in his chair and he said, "Frank," because I was a continuity announcer, he said, "would you pop into the studio, and when Mike hands to the weather, just stand in front of that blank screen and talk about anything to do with the weather." So that happened. I delivered a whole spiel about the weather, and Mr. Lamrock said to me the next day, he said, "would you do that again tomorrow during rehearsal?" So I did. Now, on the Monday they were going live, what I didn't know was they had a deal with the Met Office to provide the presenter and the weather. That deal fell through. They were then only providing the weather from the weather department in Birmingham. Cut a long story short, they needed a presenter. So I'm offered the chance to go on the telly to present the weather with no knowledge of it whatsoever. I do it for 2 weeks, every single day for 2 weeks, when the head of personnel called me up, Mr. Hutchinson, and he said, "Young Mitchell, what makes you think you have the qualifications to do the weather?" And I said, "Well, John, actually, Mr. Hutchinson, when I was at university, I did physics and meteorology as part of my overall mathematical degree." "Ah, fantastic, fantastic." What he didn't know was I did PE in English, but I wasn't going to tell him.
So you may have left our TV screens, but you're still on the radio every day on U105, and you've kind of become a double act with Kim Kelly here, haven't you?
Yes, my producer discovered Kim and said we need to have Kim on the radio as a contributor for, I suppose, the zanier side of life. And with your background in the Sun and with Local Women, you just seemed like the ideal person.
Yeah, I like to come on and talk about things that would affect, like normal people, as I say, or women.
So what kind of things have you been talking about recently then?
Anything. We talk about everything. I feel sometimes like I'm teaching Frank about modern life.
I will talk about things in the third party. I will talk about, what other people do.
Yes.
But say we're talking about cheating.
Yes.
Well, it's game on, really.
Yeah.
It's game on. But I tell people this, if you're going to date me, be prepared, because I know that the woman listening, particularly women, the same thing has happened to them as well. I know there's lots of women who are listening thinking, "Oh my goodness, I am the only woman to be ghosted. I am the only woman, to turn up for a date and the guy not be there. It happens, unfortunately. So I know how those girls feel. So I'm talking to those ladies.
And that actually leads you round to why we're here in your very studio.
Exactly.
Because inspirational women we're looking for.
Local Woman has launched the Inspirational Woman Awards in conjunction with Firmus Energy, and we're looking for ordinary women. It sounds, like an easy thing. We're looking for women who don't normally really get talked about. Those women you meet and they run charity groups. They maybe run like a creche. They care for others. They're teachers in schools maybe, and they do lots of extra curricular things, those kind of women who are just the unsung heroes. So we're looking for them. So on the 29th of May, which is a Sunday, you and I are going to host this, and there's 18 awards. There's things like Inspirational Teacher of the Year, Carer of the Year, Foster Carer, Doctor, Dentist, everything is covered. And we just want to see normal women who aren't celebrities coming up and taking centre stage, and we'll give them a great day. It's going to be an afternoon tea, and we're having Nathan Carter. But I think there are going to be a few tiers as well. I mean,
Yes.
I've already had a flick through some of the entries. There's 1,500 entries, which we're judging this week.
Wow.
So many stories of women, just normal women who are like wives and mothers, but also have these sort of like secret double lives, where they like run charities for no personal gain. It really is amazing. And these women aren't they've usually been nominated by people who don't really know them that well, or by, their husbands or children, those kind of women.
Yeah.
So they're all going to come together at the Europa Hotel. You can buy tickets if you go onto our website, Local Women Magazine. If you look at our social media, Official Local Women, you can pick up tickets and come along. It'll be a fun day. And we'll have lots of sort of famous faces there, and it'll be a nice treat too.
Lovely. Talking about inspirational women,
Yes.
the Queen.
The
this
Queen.
Week, 96 years old.
It's
Have
her
you
birthday,
seen the
yes.
new Barbie doll that's just been released?
I have, and I'm very disappointed with it. I saw it today. And now I'm a girly girl, I think you can probably tell, and I love the Barbies. There's no nice way of putting this. It's an old Barbie, It's an old Barbie. And I say this as a woman who's nearly 50. I wanted to see young Queen. With the long hair. Because the whole point of a doll is, you take it out of the box and you change its clothes and you brush its hair and, change its crowns and stuff. I don't want to, see a 95-year-old Barbie, do you?
A fair play to Barbie. If it's the first senior citizen Barbie.
Citizen Barbie, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
As opposed to an old Queen, this is a senior citizen Barbie.
Appearing on our screen now, we actually have a photo of a Barbie box with Frank Mitchell in the box. Frank, what is going on in this photograph here?
I had a great night out. It was my only night out ever with Kim. We were at Selfie City. And it was a great night. And, she convinced me to get into the Barbie box. And there I was, and the photographs were taken. And I have to live with it.
I want to come back to the Queen now, because you've met her. You had her in the UTV studios.
That was one of the main highlights of the career. We came in one day, we were told a special guest would be arriving. I was then taken aside by the boss, and I was told that the special guest would be entertained by myself in the studio. And you could tell probably from the presence of the airport type security that the special guest was A-lister. And the Queen arrived, along with one of the ladies from Buckingham Palace, who then took me aside and said, Mr. Mitchell, you will be liaising with Her Majesty the Queen. There are two rules. You do not touch Her Majesty, and you do not instruct Her Majesty. And I had no intention of either touching or instructing her, but we're in the studio. And William, who was directing, said to me, make sure she looks into the lens of the camera. So I'm standing looking into the lens, but the Queen comes up to me and she's asked me all about the weather maps, but she's standing with her back to the camera. And William says, in as conversational a way as he can, into my ear, because this has been taken by BBC, by Sky, by numerous news outlets around the world, get her to turn round. Can you get her to turn? And I was thinking, I'm not allowed to touch her, I'm not allowed to instruct her. So I said, Your Majesty, for me to get my best view, I always look right into that camera. And she turned round and William says, got her. And that was the shot that was used literally all over the world.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, then 2 days later, we were in Hello magazine, and the president of Chile, who'd just been associated with the rescue of the miners at that time that were lost in Chile, and me.
Yeah.
A 2-page spread in Hello magazine. And it was that day I thought to myself, yeah, that's a breakthrough, and that's a breakthrough in the career. And then sometime later, my phone started to ring and ring. This was a number of weeks later, ring and ring and ring when I was driving, couldn't answer it, and all these missed calls. And I pulled in to get all these messages to say, "You're on, have I got news for you?" Where they had shown a shot of the very same spot and used the gag about the Queen is now at weather school and she's auditioning for a new job with ITV. So, you know, I got a good turn out of it.
Oh, brilliant. You know what? We're out of time. Guys, it's been great chatting to both of you. Inspirational Women Awards, 29th of May.
That's it, yes. Get your tickets.
Fabulous. Thank you for coming in. Thank you.
Pleasure.